Firstly, for those of you who are unfamiliar with BREEAM, BREEAM is a widely used environmental assessment method for buildings. It sets the standard for best practice in sustainable design. BREEAM uses a straightforward scoring system that is transparent, easy to understand, and supported by evidence-based research. BREEAM provides clients, developers, designers and others with market recognition for low environmental impact buildings, assurance that best environmental practice is incorporated into a building, inspiration to find innovative solutions that minimize the environmental impact, a benchmark that is higher than regulation, a tool to help reduce running costs, improve working and living environments, and a standard that demonstrates progress towards corporate and organizational environmental objectives. The VE Navigator for BREEAM is endorsed and jointly marketed with BRE Global. Our customers have been using our software to predict some of the analysis credits for almost as long as BREEAM has been around in the UK. They've been doing this manually within the different software modules of our software, which can be time consuming, especially when a credit can be met by more than one criterion, such as daylighting, where you can gain a credit from the daylight factor and the uniformity ratios, or the room depth criterion. The idea of the BREEAM Navigator is to make the process of assessing BREEAM credits easier, more obvious, and more structured. It will automate the process where possible. By making the process of performing assessment more efficient, a user will be able to perform their BREEAM assessments more often throughout the design process. So earlier on in the design, you'd be able to get a feel for the direction you need to go in to achieve as many credits as possible. The VE Navigator for BREEAM will be an approved BREEAM BREG software tool. The current VE Navigator for BREEAM is suitable for BREEAM 2008 credits. There will be a 2011 version update to this later in the year at no additional cost. In terms of the BREEAM 2008 Navigator, the sectors covered are office, education, healthcare, and retail. This tool can help you gain up to 42 credits. There are also 6 innovation points covered. The Navigator sits on top of the VE Pro suite of tools that we currently provide, so it has access to the rigorous calculation engines traditionally used by VE users for BREEAM studies for the last number of years. The modules that are required are Modelit or SketchUp, Apache Sim, FluxDL, and CIBSE weather files needed for energy and carbon calculation. Once these modules have been purchased, the VE BREEAM Navigator sits on top of them. Also, you may need to use the Macroflow module for in-depth analysis of natural ventilation scenarios for the indoor air quality credit. We do a BREEAM starter package which incorporates all the necessary modules to get you started with the VE Navigator for BREEAM. The idea of the Navigator is that it is a step-by-step workflow navigating you through the software so that you can set up your model quickly and easily. As you click on an item of the Navigator, it brings up the relevant dialog box. The software will automatically match BREEAM thresholds and test requirements. There's a slight difference in the way the calculations are done for different building types. This is picked up by the Navigator, which saves the designer having to refresh their knowledge for each building they design. So if you're doing an educational facility, it will reference the correct documents to test against the criterion laid out. You can work through the Navigator, and as you do, you can make notes and timestamp each action you take, so that for quality assurance purposes you can track you or your team's progress. When you've set your model up using the Navigator, you will then be able to run the calculations. When the calculations are run from within the Navigator will credit hunt. What that means is, for daylighting, if you have several criterion to check to see if your design gains a credit, the software will check each of the criterion automatically. So it will look at the daylight factor, or the uniformity ratios, or the room depth criterion, and if it meets any of the criterion, the credit will be awarded. After the calculation has been run, the software will generate a rich text HTML document containing all the necessary information in a concise way that will be necessary for the BREEAM study. The reports satisfy the level of detail required by BRE. So the areas where this tool can really be utilised is for early stage pre-assessment range finding, helping show the direction you should go in with your design. It is also suitable to support your BREEAM assessor submissions. IS are committed to updating and enhancing this tool over the coming months, so even though 42 credits are currently possible, there will be up to 5 more credits coming in the near future, in the health and well-being section and the materials section. There's currently a special introductory offer on this tool of 25% off the list price. If you want details of this, please contact us at sales@iesve.com.